Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. In the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I have come here because I wish to share with you my own story. This is what happened to me when I tried to love a woman that never loved me. And I hope that out there is a man that is going to listen to my confession and to make a decision if it happens that you are in a relationship and you keep on asking yourself if that woman loves you or not. You can learn from my own story. So what happened, Brother Nashi, is that I came to South Africa. This was like way back in those days, and I started working in the farms. Whilst I was working on the farm, that was when I got a job in the construction industry, and I started staying in Johannesburg. I started as someone who was just an assistant who used to mix cement, and then I became a full-time bricklayer, and I started staying in the location, and I then got my driver's license because I always wanted to be a truck driver. But I really never thought that a woman was going to do me so bad, and at the end of the day she was going to blame me. She was going to steal my money like the way that she stole my money. This woman, when I met him, she was desperate. She had nothing. She had been divorced by her own husband. She did not even know where to go to, and her uncle, whom she thought was going to take care of her, had switched off his phone so that she won't go to his place. She was heartbroken, but yet when she found herself back on her feet, she gave me betrayal, a heartbreak, and she gave me HIV. And right now I am single, even though I regularly have women that come to my place, but I can't love those women because of the way that this woman broke my heart. I can never forget what she did to me. So I met this woman downtown in Johannesburg. I saw her. She was sitting outside this other takeaway. She was tired. I was like, in Joburg, this woman, look at her, like her legs were full of dust. She had walked from the place where she was staying with her husband, and she was lost in Joburg. She did not know anyone. So I started to speak with him because I could clearly see that this was like a first time ever visiting Johannesburg. And when I went and I sat right next to him, I studied her. And I saw that she had this big plastic bag, and inside that plastic bag there was this other dog blanket, like those ones that they sell in Pep. It was inside that plastic bag. She had nothing, and when I looked at her, it seemed as if she wanted to cry and she wanted me to save her. And it was like someone who had not eaten properly in days. I then started speaking with him. I said, "Are you okay?" And she told me that she was from Zim, and what had happened between her and her husband was that her husband had brought another woman to their room, which they were renting in another location. And when her husband brought this woman, she was then told by the husband that if you still love me, you can stay. You're going to stay in this same room. Now I have two wives. It's up to you. It's either you can accept or you can walk away. She then spoke with her uncle, whom she knew was staying in Johannesburg. The uncle then said, "It is fine. You can come and I can make a plan for you." So she got onto the taxi. She came to Johannesburg. She wanted to go to Springs. She did not even know where Springs was, and she was lost, and she was scared for her uncle. The moment that he heard that she was now in Johannesburg, had switched off his phone and had promised her that he was going to find her, and she was nervous. She did not know what was going to happen. So me and her, we spoke. And when I was looking at him, I was like, this woman, she is too beautiful, and her husband is cruel to treat her in such a way. And I was like, maybe God has given this woman to me. Let me speak with her. And then that was when I said, since it is already late and I want to return back to my place, At that time, I was working at this other scrapyard. I convinced her to become my wife, but I did not know that she only agreed to become my wife because she was in a desperate situation. And when she was now okay, that was when she revealed her true colors to me. At that time, when we were staying together, Brother Nashi, I bought her clothes and I would give her money to buy toiletries, and I even helped her to get a domestic job. And we shared everything. When she would have money, she would put it on the table, and I would also put mine on the table, and we would make plans for our lives. And then that was when God blessed me. I started working for this other Indian man as a truck driver. So most of the times I was never at home. I would only return back home maybe after 1 month or 2 months, only for one weekend. And when I would have returned home, I would expect my wife like to tell me that she misses me. But whenever I would have returned back home, she will be so cold towards me. She would even refuse to sleep with me. She was always acting strange. And then that was when all of a sudden she started locking her phone. When I would ask her for her password, she would scream at me saying that it was a privacy. She did not want me to get inside her phone. She started staying out late. I would cook for myself whenever I was home. It was like I was single. I did not even have a wife. And one thing that I noticed about this woman, she loved to be around sangomas at all the times. She always had herbs, and I think maybe she might have used a love potion on me, because even when people were giving me advice that your woman is a cheater, when you are not at home, she is always sleeping with other men, I thought that maybe they were lying to me and they were jealous, because I thought that my wife was really beautiful, and I thought that she will never do such a thing. With the way that I met him, with the way that she was desperate, and the things that she had told me when we met, I said, my woman will never do such an evil thing against me. But I was so wrong, Brother Nashim. This woman, she was cheating on me in the most painful way. So I went with her to a sangoma, even though I had never done such a thing in my life. We would go to different white garment prophets until she convinced me that my mother was a witch. She told me that my mother was a witch, and that was the reason as to why whenever she would fall pregnant, then she will have a miscarriage. That was very painful, because she'll be like, a prophetess has told me that your mom visits you at night, and then she will start to sleep with you, and she will take your sperms, and by the time that you will be sleeping with me, you will give me your sperms that cannot even fertilize an egg in my womb, and therefore I am unable to give you a child. Yet she was lying. I even insulted one of her friends who came to me, and this friend of hers was like, do you know that your woman is lying to you? She does not want to give you a child. You need to be very careful about her. But I said that all of these people, they are just lying to me. I had raised enough money, and then I went back home with my wife and I married her. I paid lobola for her. Even my parents, they sat with me down and they were like, the money that you want to go and pay for your wife, it is quite a lot of money. How about you just pay a little bit, and after she would have given you a child, you can give her parents more money. I was like, these people, they are very jealous, and indeed my mother is a witch. She does not want me to get married because she makes me her husband at night. Yet this woman was cheating on me. And then I thought that if I was going to build a house for her parents in the village, it was going to make her love me even more, and it was going to make her to think about having a child for me, because she already had two. So I gave her parents money, then they built their house in the villages. After that, that was when I went home in secret. I had some money that I borrowed from my Indian boss. The reason as to why I ended up running away from my Indian boss, because I had borrowed him money that was equivalent to 40 something thousand rands. I went with this money back home, and I used that money to deposit a residential stand for him in the high density areas in a town that is called Peru. I did this. It was like a surprise, a gift for him. When I went back home, I spoke with her mother and we met in Kweru. She brought her ID and then we bought that stand for him. And her mom was like, this man has done good things for you. You need to give him a child. Even my parents, they were like, are you even sure about these things that you are doing? Right now, you are building a house for this woman and you are not even on the title deeds. You don't have kids with this woman. What are you trying to do? What happens if you are going to fight with this woman? She will just divorce you and continue with her life. At least if you have a child with her, you will know that you are building a future for your children. But I thought that my parents were giving me that advice simply because they were evil witches. Brother Nashi, after she had seen that I had built a house for him and I had built a house for her parents, that was when she started lying to me. For 5 years, I worked so hard for this woman. Year after year, it was the same thing over and over again. She will tell me that she has fallen pregnant and then she will tell me that she had a miscarriage, until I thought that I was a cursed man who was unable to impregnate a woman. I started avoiding my own family because my mother will always ask me, when are you going to give us a grandchild? With all the things that you are doing, all the properties that you are buying with your wife, what are you thinking since you do not have a child? One day, that was when I confronted him, and then that was when I said to him, how about you give me a child? And she started shouting at me. This was after I had gone to this other doctor, and the doctor took fertility tests and everything came back normal. My sperm count was okay, still no baby. So I said to him, how about you give me a child? This was when we were in lockdown. During lockdown, I really do not know what I was looking for, but I ended up searching for whatever that I was looking for inside her handbag. And then that was when I found out that there was a receipt. My woman had gone to a private clinic in secret where she had gotten an injection that is called Depo-Provera. There was a card in her handbag. She was secretly taking birth control injections, just like I had been told by her best friend, whom I had insulted and had even reported that matter to my wife, thinking that her friend was a prostitute who was trying to destroy our marriage. I asked her why. She said, you can't force me to be a mother because you just want to be a dad. I'm not ready to be a mother. Besides, I already have 2 kids. My other child is still young, like the last born. She was like, is still very young, but we had spent 5 years together, brother, and I had spent all of my money I had invested in this woman, yet that was what she told me. So I started to get sick. This was in the year 2022. I woke up one day, I was sweating heavily and I felt really fatigued, even in my joints, and I was getting rashes all over in my mouth, on my lips. That was when I went to this other clinic. They then ran a test on me. After they had ran a test on me, that was when I heard that I was HIV positive. I did not even sleep at that night. So the reason as to why I think that this woman had used some charms on me, a love potion, instead of thinking straight, I started blaming this other woman that I had once slept with whilst I was working at the scrapyard. I was like, that woman, she is the one who gave me HIV, but I had never cheated like on my woman. Even when I would be out driving the truck, I used to sacrifice. I would even masturbate when I would feel like I want to sleep with a woman, trying to save my marriage. I was loyal. I later found messages in her phone. There were messages from 3 men that she had been sleeping with. One even sent money thinking that she was pregnant. It was really painful for me. We fought about this issue, and then that was when she told me that she did not even care about me and she broke up with me. I nearly died when I started to think about the way that this woman had mistreated me, the money that I had used for him. This was not enough, brother. So me and him, since we did not have like a bank account and my boss did not want me to use the bank account that most of the people from Zim use, saying that it gives him too many problems when he wants to deposit money in that account. So we had spoken with this other woman who was a friend, a South African woman. So this woman had agreed to open up a bank account on my behalf that I was using to get my salary. My brother, these women, they did me really bad. I had money in there. I wanted to buy a car. So by the time that I tried to remove the money from that account, thinking that I can do something better with my life, I was like happy that at least I have managed to save some money. I tried to log in. Then that was when the bank application kept on saying that you need to visit the branch. How could I visit a branch when I was not the one who opened up that bank account? Then that was when I returned back to the location. I spoke with that lady who had helped us to open the bank account. She told me that she was too busy for that nonsense. She had no time to go to the branch to fix a stupid banking application. It was going to fix itself. That is what she told me. What I did not know, Brother Nashi, was that this woman and my wife, they had gone to the bank, and that woman had withdrew the money and she had blocked her account. That was why I was unable to access the application. It was really terrible. They stole my money and they never gave me a single cent. I did everything that was right for this woman. I met her when she was desperate. She had been mistreated by her husband. She told me that she had too much bitterness, and I tried to show her that it is not each and every man that is evil, but she took her bitterness on the man that was loving her. And I learned a lesson to never love a woman who does not love you, to love a woman that is desperate. I'll never do such a thing in my life. But this has also traumatized me and it has affected me. I can't fall in love. I just look at all the women as if they are all the same. They are just there to use you and dump you afterwards. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother right there. Let us try to speak with him in the comment section.